Hi friends, welcome to the Shits and Gigs podcast where we keep the vibe high, the humor gets raunchy, and things get spicy when we talk about food. You're here for a guest episode tonight with my friend Kellie. We are going to be chatting it up about getting diagnosed with ADHD over the age of 30. Kellie is one of, I feel like, many people I've talked to recently in our age group where they're getting diagnosed late in life, and it's not an easy process. And she is a front row seat to that experience. She is a good friend, but also I met her at Elevated, where I meet everybody because Elevated's awesome, and that's where all the cool people are. Elevated in West Greenwich, Rhode Island. Definitely check us out if you're in the area. And through her daily visits, and then she works one-on-one with our health coach Jess Sweeney, the owner of the business, and she's been crushing it. Kellie has been around for quite some time.
I have.
How long? How long?
Oh, do you want to go back to the Raise the Bar days?
Yes. Like, how long have you known Jess? Well, working one-on-one with her.
We're going back to Raise the Bar days.
Yeah.
So that was 2019.
Okay. Yeah,
probably.
So over 5 years
It was
ago.
kind of a come and go thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I wasn't having successes, and not because of Jess, but some of that will tie into what we talk about today, actually.
Yeah, right.
Some of my challenges with meeting my goals is my body. And it's a whole fun thing about being a female sometimes.
Yeah. So, like I said, you've been around for quite some time, but this year has been very pivotal.
It has been. This has been. I really started the journey in November. I would say it was finally when enough was enough for me. I guess is what you could say.
Yeah.
And I reached out. I could sense that there was a depression and anxiety going on. I was really having a hard time struggling. It had been at that point 2 years since I'd had a thyroid surgery, and I still was struggling to get my thyroid numbers under control. And as you know, when your thyroid's out, that has a huge impact on your body, especially so. And I'm in the over 40 ADHD club, not the over 30. So
you gave it away, not me.
That's fine. I own my age.
She looks incredible, so I just assumed she was still in the 30s.
No. I'm closer to the 5 than the 4.
Got it. Well, go you, girl.
Yeah.
Also, cheers to 30 days alcohol detox. We have a lovely, refreshing mocktail tonight. We're doing detox on alcohol. Tune into Bath Bombs, which is the next episode that'll be uploaded this week, for how alcohol could be impacting your life or your results if you're aiming for that. So huge year for you.
Yeah.
Yes.
So my thyroid, and I talk about that because it really is a part of the story and a part of the journey for me.
Yeah.
So I had a partial thyroid removal in 2022.
Yeah.
Ended up on a medication. Don't ask me the name. Just say the name. It's Levo something.
Yeah.
And it really took until now to get me to where my numbers were great.
Interesting. Yeah.
And the things that your thyroid affects: brain fog. Obviously your body does not want to lose weight. It wants to hold on to it and gain weight. Motivation, fatigue, all these things.
I didn't realize it was all of that. Yeah.
It's all the same things that kind of affects depression and anxiety.
Right.
So thyroid kicks off, depression, anxiety kicks off. That kicks off my ADHD that I didn't know I had.
Yeah.
Because, again, all the same symptoms.
Right.
A lot of the same symptoms. So basically what happened was it was always there. I don't want to say dormant, but it wasn't so prevalent.
Yeah.
Until this stuff started happening.
Right. And I feel like life circumstance probably has a play too.
Yeah.
Like work stressors and life stressors.
I had actually taken, right when I got the diagnosis, I had actually switched my jobs to a less stressful job.
Interesting.
Yeah. Which was helpful because it did allow me. I'm really grateful that I did it at the time.
Yeah.
So back in November, I went and I found myself a therapist.
Nice.
I suspected that there was executive function, which is part of ADHD. But I don't love the self-diagnosing thing.
Yeah.
Like, I kind of did a little research, but I didn't want to go down the rabbit hole.
Yeah.
So I talked to her a little. So I met this therapist. She was amazing. She immediately gave me a definite diagnosis of the depression and anxiety. And it was like, from pretty close to the beginning, she was like, I am 99.9% sure, without testing you, that you definitely have ADHD. And that's where your executive dysfunction issues are coming from.
And do you want to just mention like a couple, like maybe top 3 executive dysfunction things you noticed?
Executive dysfunction?
Just for people in case they don't understand what
So
that is.
executive dysfunction, in a nutshell, is sitting on my couch and saying, when it was really bad, hey, I need to get up and go heat up the meal prep that I did. And telling myself that 15 times, telling myself it'll only take me 2 minutes to do it, reminding myself I'm actually hungry. Yeah. And still never getting up and doing it.
Geesh, red flag over here. Red flag. Maybe I should take some notes. Geesh.
So,
I totally did not. Or actually, I didn't do that today, but it's a rarity.
Take that and apply it to everything in your life. And I also have a little bit of an additional challenge. I live alone.
Right, so there's no one to kind of like give you that push or reminder.
Or no one to pick up the slack. Or no one to get up and do something, so that prompts you to get up and do something.
Yes. I am very lucky in that way with my husband because he's very proactive. But we literally, I don't know, did I ever tell you about the chalkboard cabinet in the kitchen?
No.
So we had this random open cabinet when we moved in. And it just looked awkward. So I had a friend of mine, actually the friend that made this door behind us, he did like a custom door, and it just like kind of looked awkward because it didn't match perfectly with like the rest. So I was like, why don't I just paint the middle of it inside the border like a chalkboard, and then we just write down like pivotal moments or like funny moments.
Yeah, I've seen you do like seasonal stuff with it now.
Yeah. So I change it every season. I need to remember to take a photo every time, and then I put it in a saved album. But anyways, so last month there was one, it was like, what's going on with that salad? Because I started the salad like literally 30 minutes of time. And I like maybe dumped the lettuce, and it was like a kit, I think. And then just everything else was on the counter, and I was like off doing something else. It's just nuts.
Now imagine, apply that to every part of your life.
Yeah.
Cleaning your house, doing your laundry, showering. All the things that I think are the baseline functioning as an adult. Yeah. So I have the ability to recognize that I'm not doing these things, which means to me, I'm not functioning at a baseline as an adult.
Right, yeah.
I already have depression and anxiety kicking in. We're hitting December, January, like that's a great, seasonal depression's a fantastic thing.
Such a great time.
I'm really realizing all this stuff is going on, so everything's kind of like this perfect storm coming together. Yeah. And my therapist, who...
Well, thank God you found her, first off.
Amazing.
At this point, yeah, divine timing for sure.
She is like a lot of the changes that everybody at Elevate has seen.
Cheers to you for taking that step. That's a really hard step.
Oh, thank you. But everything like that, people have noticed all the changes in me, like the positive outlook, the cheerfulness that's not a facade, all that is really because of her. Yeah. So she just kind of taught me, like, yeah, this is true. It is what it is. Yeah. We need to get you diagnosed. We can't give you meds until we do. Yeah. But in the meantime, we're going to do some cognitive behavior therapy, and that's what's kind of going to help you. Yeah. So I started that journey. And it's trial and error, and it probably will be trial and error for the rest of my life. Yeah. But it's something as silly as I finally found a laundry basket that works for me.
Oh, I get that.
So my laundry is in the basement.
Okay.
My bedroom is on the second floor, townhouse style house.
Got it. Lots of stairs.
Worst design ever.
Yeah.
Especially for somebody that, even if I see the mess, I don't see it. Yep. And out of sight, out of mind. Poof. So I had to find a basket that I'm comfortable carrying down the stairs. Right. Because, your stairs are like...
Yeah, they're pretty steep.
Mine aren't even that steep, but trying to carry something down the stairs. So one that I was comfortable carrying down the stairs. And I had to realize that I needed a basket that literally fit one load of laundry.
Yes. That's kind of like ours, too. We have one for, colors and one side for whites, but it's a mesh bag about, this big.
Yep.
Because I was like, that's it.
Yep. So
Yeah.
I have to take that bag downstairs. Like, and I try to take it like first thing in the morning, like before I leave my bedroom.
Yeah.
Like, this is kind of, in an ideal day, this is how it works for me.
Yeah.
In the morning, actually, the night before, I fill it up.
Got it. Yeah.
Like at night, not first thing in the morning.
Okay.
So in the morning, when I go downstairs with my dog to bring him out, I bring the bag down with me and I just kind of put it on the floor, take him out, feed
Got
him, and I put it right by the basement door.
Yes.
Key.
Yes. Yes.
Then I take it down to the
Girl, I
basement.
get this. I am very specific with my routine too. This is resonating.
Put it in the and then I'm allowed to forget about it until my lunch break. When I go downstairs,
Yep.
lunch, I will switch it over, and then I can forget about it again until later on. And then it's like, all right, now you have to take it upstairs. And what I do is I either take it upstairs into my living room and fold my laundry there, or I'll take it up if it's late enough at night. Like last night, it was like 9:30, and I was like, oh well, we'll just go upstairs with it to the bedroom.
Yeah.
Fold it, put it away, right then and there.
Yeah.
And refill it.
Yeah.
And if I don't do that exact thing, my laundry will not get done, or my laundry will sit in the dryer.
Yeah.
For weeks.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's bad.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. So it's been a lot of finding that out.
Yeah.
Changing. I don't have chores. I have to reframe them to tasks.
Okay.
If I look at
I know you mentioned this briefly at the club.
Yeah, so ADHD. But one of the things I'm learning is you don't get a dopamine hit from completing a chore.
Yeah, this was very interesting. Pay attention. I remember this conversation
I don't have
now.
the full, I'm starting to obviously get into this a little bit more.
Yeah.
But so the average person, first of all, if they see your table has stuff on it, they see that, and two, it clicks. Hey, this needs to get put away.
Ugh.
With ADHD,
Do you see how nice his PlayStation looks right now since he's not home tonight? I literally said I get to be OCD about his table tonight. I'm so excited.
But ADHD and executive dysfunction, the mess doesn't even necessarily register to me.
Oh, okay. So that is different to me. It bothers me to see clutter.
Don't even see it.
Okay.
Don't even see it. I literally have to come up with a task list of what I want to accomplish each day.
Yes. I do tend to have to do that also.
Yeah, so, and I phrase them to myself as tasks. I don't phrase them as chores. Because nobody wants to do a chore.
Yeah,
Chore
I don't call it chores
so
either. Yeah, wants to do
task.
chores.
Yeah, it does. It sounds so much worse.
Yeah.
So, I have to I have to figure out the way that works for my brain. Mm-hmm. Have you ever seen the TikTok or the reels about the people what do you mean when you go to bed and you lay down and you stop thinking? We don't. That is the time it takes off.
Really?
And in my case, a lot of the time, it's taking off in a very not kind way to myself, I guess I could say.
Yeah.
Through therapy, thankfully, I have worked on recognizing that and being like, okay, is this something we need to address right now?
Right.
No, it's not. So we acknowledge I'm having these thoughts, but I don't. That is for future Kellie to deal with.
Yeah,
it's not
I have that.
In the book,
those internal conversations are huge.
but it's just a way to make me kind of concentrate a little bit more.
Right.
And sleep is so huge. And sleep routines are huge for me. When they're really good, they're amazing.
Yeah.
But you know how hard it is for ADHD to stay on task. Especially, I am unmedicated still.
Yeah.
That is a big thing to keep in mind.
Okay.
So which we'll get to. So I really do need a routine of sleep where I put on a podcast, and it happens to usually be Dateline because the voices are so soothing.
I mean, I probably would do the same.
And I don't mind tuning out. It's interesting, but not so interesting that I'm going to want to pay attention to it.
Right.
And there's times when I'll do counting my breath. Mm-hmm. Or I will do manifestations.
Oh, yeah. I know. You were saying you sent me the podcast that you listened to.
Yeah, but I do them just internally on my own.
Yes.
I kind of go through two different ones. One is either my ultimate goal of what my house will look like, and it's not chaos.
Yeah.
Like I will slowly walk through.
Walk through. Yeah, I love
do
that.
a virtual walkthrough in my head.
Yeah.
Or if I know exactly what my task list is for the morning, I will run through that in my head.
Okay.
In like a minute, so it kind of with the hopes that it.
Right,
As
it kind
I'm
of
falling
releases
asleep,
itself, yeah.
And as I'm falling asleep, it's kind of ingraining itself in me.
Yeah.
So in the morning, I get up and I do it.
Yeah, that's so interesting. I love those.
Those things when I'm really having my brain won't shut off.
Yeah.
Moment. If I'm not at home and I have my brain won't shut off moment, I play solitaire or cribbage on my phone.
Okay.
Like a card game like that.
Oh yeah, something cyclical kind of.
Cyclical, I really like, especially if it's like a cribbage game because I play the computer.
Right.
I have to pay attention, like, and it kind of forces me to slow it down.
Oh, okay.
But like,
yeah,
I need to do things like that.
Yeah,
which
that
is
makes sense.
not scrolling.
Yeah, scrolling is the worst.
Scrolling is bad.
So bad. Don't doom scroll at night.
And it is an ADHD's, or however you want to call us. It is our ultimate perfect place because it's quick hits.
Yes.
And if I don't like it, I can turn on to the next thing. And
I
it's just so nice
am
stuff.
admittedly addicted to my phone.
Yeah.
And I think I've actually caught myself. I've been trying to pay more attention to it because I'm really trying to like set boundaries around when I use my phone. But it's so hard because a lot of my work is on my phone. And I feel like actually Amanda brought up a great point in the Glistening Goddess episode. For a lot of entrepreneurs, like the second you see your phone light up or you sign in and you see you have a notification, like that could be an opportunity. You know what I mean? So it like just feels like you're like letting opportunity go if you're not being present to it.
I'm going to bring So I found this book.
Okay.
So I have this book, this ADHD workbook. It's written by somebody with ADHD who coaches people with ADHD.
Okay. And did you order this online?
I ordered this on Amazon.
Okay. She'll give me the link and I'll put it in the description.
Yes. You can get the Kindle version.
Oh, cool.
I don't recommend it because there's
it's a workbook, right?
Workbook stuff in here.
Yeah.
But there's a very specific reason I pulled it out because I was looking at it today. And one of the things that she says is when you wake up, she talks about do something that's for you. What is something you can plan to wake up that's just for you? And actually, she also goes into here about picking up your phone and scrolling social media and whatever is somebody else's agenda. It's not your own.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
So, yeah, I literally just
I totally
read this.
understand.
So it says, we take a look at our phone, email, social media, and text messages. When you do that, you start your day on other people's terms. So, and then one of the things is like, how do you plan to start 3 ideas of how you plan to start your day?
Yeah.
So, and start implementing one of them and then move on.
Right. So I totally 10 out of 10 recommend firsthand. This is huge. I have always said Josh is not a morning person by any means. I have become a morning person because I make it a priority to do things for me first thing.
Yeah.
Because that's the only fucking time I have, honestly. Like, if I don't carve out that time,
I
get nothing all day.
I'm trying to become a morning person.
It's hard to wake up.
For my house tasks.
Yes.
That started when, I think I've told you before, like, I wake up Monday mornings. Mm-hmm. Like, if I can get to a good night's sleep on Sunday, I wake up Monday mornings at like 5:30. I get my kitchen clean. I meal prep then.
Nice.
There is a downfall to that. If I don't wake up Monday morning, I'm kind of screwed on my meal prep.
Right.
And I'm catching up all week.
That's how we are with our Sundays. So we try and make it a strict boundary around getting it done.
And now I want to try to like keep my Mondays and carry it over into other days.
Okay, yeah.
Because I seem to have the most energy and I want to use it to tackle the things I like the least.
Right. Yeah, so then it's done with and you feel so accomplished.
Yes, because the hyperfocus is kicking in on me. It's part of the ADHD, and the hyperfocus is kicking in with working out.
Oh, okay.
Which is why last week when I was on vacation, I did not one thing in my house that I wanted to that was on my list, but I made it to the gym every day.
Yes. I can relate.
It's not a bad thing. Like, I'm not looking at it in a negative way because I was on vacation.
But it can be debilitating in certain cases.
I can't allow that and forego the things I need to do in my house.
Right.
Which is my biggest challenge area right now.
That's the only reason I really haven't advocated for help with Cam to make time to go to the gym, because I'm barely keeping up with the house as it is.
Right.
So it's like, if I can go for a walk with him at least once a day, or I'll try and like move around or whatever.
Yep.
And then my new like kind of challenge for myself is doing like at least a minimum once a week push.
Yes.
So I do this like walk jog kind of sequence, and then I like throw in some sprints if I'm feeling good.
So your morning routine though is the stretches, right?
Yeah. So thanks for circling back. Way to stay on task. Cheers.
Sometimes
Crushing it.
Hey, did you like the segue?
Yeah. I love a good segue. Don't get me going. So Josh is not a morning person. I'm a morning person, but only because I've implemented things, like I said, to do for myself. So I actually have a beautiful morning routine, and I can say that probably for the solid like 10 months from when Cam was, not when he was directly born, because maternity leave was awesome, and I could like obviously carve in time in the full day that I then had, but post maternity leave to like maybe, I want to say been doing this for maybe like 3 months now.
Yeah,
so like 3 months
sleeping.
ago. Yeah, since he's been sleeping, thank God. I just couldn't do that, and my mental health was like unwell. Like I was in a rough spot for a couple months. It was hard. But since implementing that, it's like night and day. Like the second you decide to just wake up and do something for you, it's like it just gets you going on a whole different level. So my morning routine, I wake up, I immediately like wash my face, I do like a facial cleanse, and then we were just chatting. I make my own tinted sunscreen with like a basic concealer and like a facial sunscreen. And then I do, shout out to my girl Sarah Farrago, the Lumi Spa bronzing pearls. If you want that, I'll put her handle in the description. They're like the perfect glow. I like feel like I'm not wearing anything, which is so nice. And then just some blush and highlighter, and it just makes me feel good. Oh, I fill in my eyebrows. But I stopped wearing mascara because I kept getting this freaking sty on my eye. So I was like, whatever. I guess I don't need it. So I keep it pretty basic, but like that makes me feel like just so beautiful. Like I could just take that moment for myself. My face feels clean, and it's just nice. And then I come downstairs. I'll let Trixie out. I'll do my hip stretches and like core stability. I do my 30 push-ups, and then and I also drink a glass of water. That's like a big thing for me in the morning now. I try and start with a glass of water. You just feel good because you're dehydrated when you wake up.
Right.
So it's kind of like necessary.
So my goal for my morning is, the first to implement is, I sent you that podcast, the affirmations.
Yeah, I loved it.
It's just when I stumbled on, and they put out new ones every couple times a week. They're fairly often.
Yeah, that's nice.
And they're like 10 to 12 minute hits, which is perfect. It gives you a little breathing. Sometimes, some of them he says, if you're in bed, get up. But my goal is to do that, and then because my dog will lay in bed long enough with me while I do it.
Nice. Yeah, that's kind of a nice easy ease into the morning.
And I'm like, all right, once we, because it's like 3 ideas. It's like that, and then the next step will be like add the face wash in. Yeah. Because the bathroom is 5 steps from the bedroom. You know, before I take I go downstairs and I take the dog, and the first thing my first thing I absolutely always do as soon as I take the dog out is I have to take my thyroid meds.
Got it.
Meds.
Yeah, because you can't eat right away, right?
It's an hour.
Got it.
It's an hour that they tell you not to eat, just to allow your body to absorb it.
Got it.
So yeah.
Interesting.
It's fantastic. And then like.
What's gonna be your number 3?
My third thing that I wanna.
Yeah.
My morning thing. I think it might be your stretch routine. I haven't really.
Oh yeah, because you do have sciatic issues, right?
Yes, I do have sciatic issues.
You should try it.
And I've been working out a lot.
Yeah.
So a good stretch in the morning is never a bad thing.
Yeah, and honestly, like, I'm very transparent that I'm basically not working out right now. Other than that literal 5-minute morning routine. I teach Pound on Wednesdays, and then I've just been doing my best to do minimum like 7,500 steps. Although I also haven't been tracking my steps for almost 2 months now, because that was triggering for me. Yeah.
So I do all these challenges with you guys.
Yeah.
We'll have a little. And I promise you all, this all does really tie into ADHD for me.
Yeah.
I go through bouts of being like super good about tracking my food.
Yeah.
Part of it's easy. I live alone, so I eat the same thing.
Right.
Like my breakfast and lunch for the week is pretty much the same.
Yeah, same.
I eat dinner. I only make 1-2 things for dinner.
Yeah.
It's just me. I'm not cooking all the time. It's a whole thing.
Yep.
The extra step in the challenges of having to like send in the pictures and fill out the spreadsheet. Nope.
Daunting.
It is the most daunting. It is one of the most daunting things.
Mm-hmm.
One of the actual most daunting things for it, showering.
Really?
There's so many steps.
There is a lot of steps, and I have a crazy lotioning routine after head to toe.
Yeah, just forget that. Just in the shower, I have to wash my hair twice.
Yeah.
Because it's so gross.
Yeah.
And then the conditioner, washing my face, washing my body. Do I need to shave?
Yeah. It is really
like
exhausting to think about sometimes.
And in the summertime, it's really bad because you got to shave all the time. In the wintertime, it wasn't so bad because I didn't need to necessarily shave a lot. And like Friday nights, I would kind of do like a nice long. It was more of a relaxing thing.
Throw some candles on.
It was a very different like thing.
Vibe,
Like I have to get up, like showering is just it's because when there's so many steps involved in something.
Yeah.
Your brain just shortcut wires. Like, it's awful.
Yeah.
And it sounds weird, but like,
no, I get that.
It's like, I got in the shower, like, that is a huge thing.
Yeah. Yeah, that's big.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's a huge testament, like, if someone out there is also struggling, like, if you feel like you take a hard look at yourself and you're maybe not showing up, like, you're treating your body like a dumpster instead of a temple, like... That's kind of like maybe you need to go chat with a professional and see what direction you need to lean into, you know?
And it's not necessarily that it is ADHD, but like it's, part of it that also falls under the depression. And anxiety. So like all the things I have going on kind of they all tie in. They're like, hey, we don't just want you to have this problem, we want you to have this problem for multiple reasons. Yeah, so it's a really big issue for you.
Like exasperates everything.
Yeah, it does.
Got it.
They just all build on each other. Mm-hmm. So that's lots of fun.
Yeah.
So
where do we want to transition to?
Testing. I was just
let's go to testing. Yeah. So when was it a year ago? You tried to advocate for yourself already? Or
started in January. In January I started trying. And
so
my therapist is with a very large place.
Yeah.
She's with a very large, it's not a small little firm thing. It is actually a nationwide place. I have a few challenges. My company that I work for is based in Massachusetts. Mm-hmm. They use Cigna for health, which is not widely used down here.
Oh, okay.
And I had to change all my doctors when I got that company.
Gotcha.
that was fun. Yeah, that was fun. It was fine. I actually love the doctors I have now.
Yeah.
So she did and all she can really do was like send the referral over. So I had to like follow up, and they were like, "Oh, we have an appointment for you in July." I'm like, "Excuse me."
Specialists are unreal right now.
It's January.
Yeah.
So now I start calling around. And there was a reason I was very honest about my age, because it factors in.
Okay.
I start calling around. And I'm like, so kind of like, is somebody going to test me when I'm not going to be getting services from them? Because you cannot pry me away from my therapist.
Right,
Like, absolutely. She went out on leave and I was like, in tears. But she had somebody like cover for me and it was fine. Like I was at a point where, but it was still like I was like,
finally trust that person.
What do you mean you're leaving me?
Yeah. Well, I don't know. The feedback is like a good, like a genuinely good therapist is kind of hard to find right now.
She's
so
amazing.
When you find one,
so amazing. Like,
are you allowed to shout her out?
I don't know. She's actually gonna watch this.
Okay. Well, if you're or when you listen, feel free to comment your info.
Yeah, I love her.
Yeah,
she's really excited that I did this.
I love it. Yeah, it's a big kind of like sidestep for you.
This is a big me putting myself out there.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we won't
go you.
So I start calling around to places like finding things.
Yeah.
I reached out to Cigna and said, "Hey, I need to get this testing. Can you like give me someplace I can go?"
Yeah, give me some direction here.
So it was a lot of places do not test over 30.
Really?
Yes.
Why? Why is that a standard?
I have no idea. They don't test over 30. No, I'm far over 30.
What? If you make it to 30 with ADHD, you're just set for life because you've suffered this far.
Think about, I'm from a generation where not only was it not very commonly tested.
Yes. Yeah, for sure.
It was especially not for females.
Yeah.
It was we were definitely not a thing.
Right.
Which that factors into when I got my results and why I just, everything's coming out now versus then.
Gotcha.
They wouldn't accept my medical. One place was like, we don't accept medical at all. It's $800 out of pocket. I was like, oh,
get the hell out of here.
Sure,
who can
let me
afford
just pull that money out of the air.
Oh my God.
I mean, can I sell some blood?
Yeah.
Some body parts? What do you want to do? So I ended up circling back to, and keep in mind, this is somebody with ADHD that's not diagnosed, that out of sight, out of trying to find your own place.
Oh my God.
This is a huge task for me. This is a huge task.
That was a hard part for with Cam. All the doctor's appointments, forget about it. I was so overwhelmed.
I talked to a friend of mine who went through the same thing with a spouse and said, she's like, it's so hard. And I'm like, well, at least you're there to help.
Right, yeah.
Again, doing this on my own.
No, doing it solo, I can only imagine, is so overwhelming.
So in the meantime, my doctor was like, well, can we get you on some Prozac? And I have a follow up with my primary. Oh, she just said she wanted me on an antidepressant. Okay. I happened to have a follow up with my primary. Mm-hmm. And I said, hey, can you explain everything to her? And she's like, oh yeah, she prescribed something. I was like, I'll give you access to all my records. Yeah. Whatever. My primary was really cool. She put me on something. It was very helpful. I ended up calling back. My doctor was like, all right, can you just call, get whatever earliest appointment you can with us, maybe see if there's a cancellation list while you continue to work on trying to find a place. Because the longer you wait here, the worse it is.
Right.
They ended up having an appointment in April.
Oh, well, that's a significant
better than
bump, I guess.
Yeah, it's better than, so this is January. Yeah, I'm scheduling for April.
Yeah.
It is a 3-part test.
Yeah, this was very interesting too. For someone who has trouble focusing, it's like this 10-hour...
It's a three-part thing. And don't think that they schedule all your appointments at once.
Of course.
So the first thing was an intake. And luckily I can do everything on Zoom. So we do this whole intake. Okay. Asks a lot of questions about your childhood, what's going on now, all these things, trying to kind of get a thing. And I had to do some intake paperwork with them. Gotcha. So it's like a 45-minute interview of you. Yeah. And I was like, she's like, do you lose things? I'm like, yeah, there's a car key of mine floating around my house somewhere. Side note, I found it last week. Go you? I love it. In a random pocket. Winning. I'm like, I knew it's somewhere in this house. Yeah. Yeah. So we did all that stuff. The testing is in person. And it can take up to 4 to 5 hours.
What? That is so long.
It depends on how long you take, how many breaks you want to take, all that stuff. Got it. And Brie will tell you this because I'm even like this with my training with her. Let's get it done. Get in, get it done, and move on. I took 1 break because I'm like some of my friends here and I drink a lot of water and I had to pee. Yeah. That was my only break. Yep. The testing made my brain hurt and I went home and I took a 3-hour nap.
That sounds exhausting.
There was she gave me a diagram. It was lines and triangles and stuff and said draw it on another page. Which was just a copy. Easy, and then took it away. And then we did a couple other things and she gave me another blank paper and said draw it again.
Oh, from memory. Remember it?
From memory. Gave me some more tests. Came back a 3rd time. Draw it again. My least favorite test was, those things where they're say the color, not the word, or say the word, not the color. It'll be the word red, but it'll be in blue. Yes. We were doing those.
Yeah, this is a lot of brain work.
And then, because they really like it to make it fun, it was if it has a box around it, you say this. If it doesn't have the box around it, you say that. One you'd say the color, one you'd say the word.
Oh, interesting.
All in the same.
Yeah.
There were some spatial things here's these blocks, here's this thing, make it match. Okay. And I'm like, I am the worst. Like, if you describe a room for me, like, you go in there and you turn to this, you'll see that I'm like, nope. Nope.
It depends for me because I'm also a very like visual person.
Not even close.
But yeah, I get lost.
Nope.
I get lost.
Not even close. Some general knowledge things, and then they very kindly handed me 2 packets of paper. Excuse me, of questionnaires.
Yeah.
One for me.
Yeah.
And this was like stab to the soul. And one for somebody that's really close to you.
Oh, interesting.
I'm like, hi, I'm single.
Yeah.
Mom!
Yeah.
And it was, I mean, some of it was tough. We're very close, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
She doesn't live with me.
Right.
She knows about the parts of my life that I share with her, which she's my mom. She doesn't need to know everything.
Everything, yeah.
And there's times I just don't tell her things because I don't want her to worry. She's my mom.
Right, yeah.
And her packet, I think, was bigger than mine.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
There was we were on the phone a little bit when she was talking, because so I had to complete that and return it to them.
Yeah. Before
they could compile the test results.
I mean, that makes sense, I suppose, yeah.
I literally, my test was on a Tuesday, I think. On Saturday, I had them back.
Oh,
I was
nice.
I'm not messing around.
I would be the same way. I was like, let's get this over with.
So, first one was in April. My test was in May. I didn't get my results until June 5th.
Ugh. Gee, the anticipation here is...
So, there's 3 kinds of ADHD. There's ADHD inattentive, ADHD, I think it's excitable or something like that, and then combination.
Okay.
You have to, for the first 2, you have to hit 5 markers.
Okay.
On them, in order to, be, yes, you are.
Yeah, diagnosed, yeah.
To get the combination, I think you have to hit 5 into both.
Oh, wow, okay.
I am ADHD inattentive.
Okay.
Little fun challenge to add to me, which is part of the reason why I didn't do it. Part of this testing test your IQ.
Really? Okay.
Mm-hmm. I have an above average IQ.
Damn, girl. I mean, not surprised. You can tell when I have conversation with you that you're smart.
Above average IQ.
Go, girl.
And then my memory recall, I think it was. She was like, you were so above average on this that in areas where we would say the person is average based off of the number, you have that number, it's actually below average for you, if that makes sense. Because I was so high up here, what would be average for everybody else is below average for me.
Oh, interesting.
I'm like,
wow,
thanks.
Cheers. You smarty bitch. Look at you. But that is awesome, Kel.
That's
what a mood boost.
Oh, I was like, oh, thank you.
I love that for you.
I mean, they always say it's a smarty pants.
Yeah.
But because I have the ability to sit in a classroom and read and listen to the teachers' lectures, if teachers gave me good lectures, I was top 10 in my class graduating high school.
Wow. I wasn't that good, but I get that. If it was a connective, professor, whoever, or honestly a student in general, I was a great student.
I was in homework? Yeah.
No?
I didn't need, but I was fortunate enough, the fact that I never spent time studying. I didn't put a lot of effort in.
Got it.
Again, out of sight, out of mind. You don't, it all kind of ties in.
Right.
But because I had the ability to recall information and regurgitate it for a test so well, I was an 80 student.
That's awesome, yeah.
Except that allowed me to fall through the cracks.
Ah, okay,
My family was fairly strict with behavior, so even if I had you think of ADHD where it's all about kids running around and not being able to all that.
Yes, yeah.
That wasn't acceptable.
Right.
In my family, I spent a lot of time around adults, not children, just because of the circumstances of growing up and the way it was. And I rode horses. And the person who tested me said that was probably one of the best things you could have gotten into. And my little side note, my therapist, she has been part of that before.
Yeah.
So, because I've talked about it, so it's very helpful because she can relate back to it.
Yeah.
And they've explained that, like, you have to think about so many things at once, that it allows you, like, it forces your brain to focus.
Yeah, right.
So they're like, you had so many things that created these boundaries and this structure for you as a child.
Yeah.
And you were around adults, you weren't around other children. Like, and that kind of masked it, basically.
Right, yeah.
Now, on the flip side of it, I had an IEP for from the time I was like 7 to 15.
Really?
For speech therapy. Part of my speech therapy was reading too fast. Like, I wouldn't finish, like, when you read out loud in classes, like, I wouldn't finish the sentences.
Got it.
It's because the brain was
too
done already.
Right, yeah.
That has followed me into my adult life, where I read a lot of technical documents every day.
Yeah.
It's really hard when your brain doesn't want to read every word.
Right. Yeah. Very valid point.
Yeah. So when you're trying not to read,
you deal with lots of monies. So.
Yeah, I deal with a lot of, like, kind of like lawyer language.
Right. Yeah.
And,
yeah. So like very specific verbiage and things that you kind of have to be aware of.
Yeah. So now, like, this is all stuff that I'm aware of that I have to, I think, on.
Right.
Yeah.
Interesting. Wow. Any other major finds that you recall from your test?
Any other major?
I mean, those are all pretty.
Right,
well,
like,
so I guess, have you met with your therapist since you got tested? So what were like your
actually, things felt really good because I got the results from my test, and the very next day I had an appointment with my therapist.
Oh, beautiful!
And
yeah.
The nice thing about them being the same company is she sees everything.
Oh, cool! Nice.
Like, she's able to see all of it. So we've been spending a lot of time, and actually I mentioned to you, I was like, oh, I really want to point this out.
Yeah.
While I'm frustrated that it took so long to get tested, I'm also it was good because it's forced me to spend this time to figure out different things I need to do.
Yeah.
So my therapist, I actually just got my appointment today for August 16th, I think it is.
Yeah.
To meet with a somebody who can do prescribe meds for me.
Oh, okay.
Because my therapist can't.
Got it.
So
would she recommend a script, or?
She's like, this is the next step for you. You have come so far. Yeah. Without them. Yeah. But really, you need this other tool in your toolbox. It's not a crutch. It's not, like, the big thing is, like, I don't want this to be an excuse. I've tried to really avoid going down the rabbit hole of, is this me or is this the ADHD? Yeah. One of the things I did talk to her about, and I was like, can you explain this to me? If I have something really complicated, I can get up and I can go talk to somebody and I can speak very eloquently about it. Yeah. And I think I'm very clear and concise in what I need to say. Yeah. I can't type those same words into an email without it taking me 25 minutes, which is why I will pick up the phone or I go talk to people if I'm in an office. Got it. And she's like, that's because your brain can't do that many things at once, Kelly. It's got to think about the words and type them all out. And like, there's too much going on. I was like, got it. She's like, that is the ADHD. That's not you. Yeah. But we're trying not. The ADHD is me. It is who I am. Like, we're trying not to go in that rabbit hole. Right. No, but I like that you mentioned, thank you for being transparent about literally your whole journey. Yeah. Because you, I think, destigmatized kind of just, like, living with it, first off. Yes. Like, enough of that shit, guys. You got your whole life. You can't just live with it. Any symptom in your body, I am a true believer that any symptom, any backache, any brain fog, or anything that you're experiencing that you think is not quote-unquote normal, it is your body saying that something is out of balance and something needs to change. Right. And you know how, like, they say, like, a chaotic house is a chaotic mind? Yes. It's very true. The problem is like, for me, like, part of my journey is that I don't see the chaos as my house. Right, okay.
You just see it as like piles of things.
Yeah, so I will give this little shout out to, there is a lady out there called A Slob Comes Clean. She has a blog and she has a podcast and everything.
Make sure you send me her stuff.
Dana K. White. Because she's for cleaning for people that don't see it. And she has talked a little bit about like it could be because of the ADHD aspect.
Yeah.
And she's like, listen, if following all these other organizational things worked, you wouldn't be finding me.
Yeah.
And she talks about things like time passage disorder. Like, you think about, you will say to yourself, oh, I haven't cleaned my bathroom in a week. I need to clean it.
Yep.
Nope. There's no, like, I
hate to admit it, but especially as being, or definitely, like, more so being a mom. Because it's just, like, that's no time.
Yeah.
When you, and even, I'm sure with you, with your elderly dog, too, like, you have, like, that, just, like, extra stuff you're thinking of that you have to do for them, so that stuff just doesn't make the cut sometimes.
Right. And when, when you're not at 100%, you have Josh to help pick up your slack.
Yeah. Which you don't,
No, if I'm not at 100%, it just doesn't get done. And then it builds and it builds and it builds. And
then you're like, I'm low-key grimy. I need to do something about this.
Right. But the reason I bring this up is, so not only is it like time passage, but like it literally is, you just don't see the mess. Like I can walk past the fact that I haven't seen my dining room table in 6 months.
Got it, yeah.
Does not register in my head. I say to myself, I want to clean my dining room table because I want to buy myself pretty flowers and put on there.
Yeah.
But I can't do that until I clean it.
Okay.
Still haven't cleaned it.
But do you want me to come help you clean your kitchen table? Because I can make that dream happen for you.
No, my mom actually wants to come do it.
Okay. Well, I love that for you guys.
My mom was like, she's just like, whatever, I need to help. She's
good.
That way.
That's awesome. Go,
Mom.
But
it is a thing of, don't think that you're not succeeding as a functioning adult. Because it's really hard to succeed as a functioning adult.
Yeah.
With this, when you're not actively treating it and working on it. And I have, like, my goal is to get to a point where I have a schedule. Like, on Mondays I do this, on Tuesdays I do this, on Wednesdays, like.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So that I don't have to think about.
Right.
When was the last time I cleaned my bathroom?
Yeah. That's a great idea to, like, break it up throughout the week.
Yes.
I love it.
With the idea of Saturdays and Sundays being free to rot on the couch as needed.
Rotting. Yes.
Hey, listen, a good rot day.
I need a good rot. Mel and I actually were at a cookout together this weekend. And we were both just, like, socially drained at one point in the night. And we were like, do you want to go rot on the couch right now? Because my parents had taken Cam home. So I was, like, born free on this cookout. And I wanted nothing more than to just binge watch some Netflix.
Social battery has been a big thing I've had to work on myself.
Yeah, same. We've set some pretty bold boundaries around, like, protecting some time just for us because it's exhausting.
Yeah, definitely having to make sure, like, if I have a really busy weekend that I give myself time to, and mine sometimes I think is a little less tolerant because I work from home, I live alone.
Right, yeah,
so
that's hard to then want to, like, stay at home. Unless you do things like clean off your kitchen table and romanticize your life a little bit.
Yes, exactly.
Rewind back to that bath bombs episode.
We talked about this.
Yes.
Like when about your romanticizing, like, because I did listen to it. But it's like, it's a case of either I want to be at home a lot or I don't. Yep. But then when I'm not at home, I have to be very careful about, like, what I'm socializing and how much I am. Yeah. Because it can run me down, and then you'll not see me for, like, weeks.
Yeah, I feel that. Yeah, I'll have to show you the Davis Oasis Santorini bar. It's coming together.
I see it. It's so nice.
We're making it happen. Santorini's not in the budget, so we're bringing it in the backyard.
Right?
We'll see. Maybe we'll have, like, a little celebratory cookout with the crew from Elevated once it's done. But let's wrap it up. I feel like that was perfect. Thank you so much for your transparency and for just giving all the deets. I learned a couple things. So I may have to chat to your therapist potentially. I don't know. With all seriousness, let's maybe get that info because I feel like I've been having a lot of these realizations with, like, tasks versus chores and needing to organize my time, but, like, I feel like the overwhelm is still there, so it has been something I've been considering. So
I mean, you see me, I walk around with that notebook that has like a time on one day and notes on the other to task out my days.
Mm-hmm. Same, girl.
And listen, if I hit 25% of them, I'm happy with myself.
Winning, yes.
Like, it sounds crazy, but like, that's 25% more than I used to do.
Yeah. One thing that might be helpful, actually, that I started implementing, I forget where I had this realization, whether it was a Herbalife training. Mm-hmm. That's typically where I would learn these big concepts when I was plugging into those. But it was I tend to do like a brain dump on either the Sunday or the Monday, whatever your week starts. Mm-hmm. And for me, it's like mapping out personal inquiries, not to average prep, the podcast, and then health coaching 101s. Yep. Which is like a lot. I started this journey with 4 jobs, and now I got 4 things going on. I thought I simplified it.
I do kind of the same thing. On Sunday nights, I sit down. I don't do the whole week. Yeah. I just do a couple of days, because that gives me the ability for flexibility. Like, got it, when I don't get to this here, can I get it there? Got it. And I map out pre-morning tasks, like what I want to get done before I start my work day. Yeah. I do some of my work tasks. Mm-hmm. Those I kind of will do a little more day to day, depending upon how the day's going. Yeah. The week's going. And then if there's anything at night, but I also include when I fill out my day, like when am I going? If I have a gym class I'm taking, when am I doing that? Yeah. Personal care, because that's really big. Like so my nails in every 3 weeks. Yeah. Like, and my therapist was like, put that stuff on your calendar. Oh, absolutely. Do not just make this calendar tasks and stuff. Like, it's in my phone, but it's also here. Yep. So that's huge. When I actually first started health coaching, I was juggling all the jobs and stuff. Jess mentored me in the direction of time blocking in my planner and using a highlighter. Yep. So, like, my health coach time was green. I think the speech clinic was yellow. Nannying was orange, and Steven and Rachel was, I don't know, some other color. But I mean, I time block at work. Yeah. Where it's like, all right, for these 2 hours, I work on this specific task. Mm-hmm. And there's just processing my emails. And then, like, for these 2 hours, I will, like, tomorrow morning, the first thing that I'll do is I'll go in and any payments that have to be processed for invoices or money that we owe insureds, I will do first thing. Nice. Because we can issue checks. Mm-hmm. But I find when I focus on the same type of task as much as you can in insurance at once, it helps me make less mistakes, stay more focused. I'm not jumping between all the different kinds of things I can do. Right, yeah. Which is, it's helpful for me. They don't always love it, and I'm like, I'm probably going to have to sit down with my boss and have a conversation, be like, let me explain to you a little bit more why things are the way they are. Right, and then also... I've been trying to avoid it. Yeah. I mean, like, kind of thing. Mm-hmm. But maybe having this conversation, as uncomfortable as it may be, will be pivotal for being transparent about, like, what's going on, obviously, and then also an opportunity to advocate for potential changes that you and your therapist think could be beneficial for you being more productive. It's more just going to be like, I just need you to bear with me. Like, I know we found a couple mistakes this week. Just bear with me as we get through them. I am doing the work. I am doing the things I need to do to fix this. Yeah. Just in the meantime, like, just know I'm doing my best. Like, maybe you could even, would it potentially be a possibility to have, like, a person appointed to, like, double check a certain, like, whatever numbers? He double checks. Oh, perfect. He double checks them. Good. At a weird time. But like that stuff does get double checked. But more like there was something was on my desk that happened there for a few weeks because I'm in 1 day a week, and I didn't realize what it was that it needed to be processed. Okay, gotcha. So I'm sure tomorrow when I go in, he's gonna have a conversation about that. Because that's again that whole have sight out of mind. Right. Interesting. Well, I am so proud of you for all the things you're doing for you. Mm-hmm. Also, shout out, because I didn't get to do it in the beginning. Kellie, first off, her results are crazy from this past year. Since prioritizing yourself this past year. Yes. In many ways. She is down 12 pounds and 10 inches. This girl's confidence is through the roof. She is, like, slaying these outfits that she's buying herself, and she looks amazing. She, again, is working one-on-one with Jess Sweeney Coaching, or that's her handle, at Jess Sweeney Coaching on Instagram. You do one-on-one. Are you doing macros with her? Jess
specifically, or
Jess does something with all my macros.
Yeah.
And kicks me back when I need to get back on
yes,
track.
for many years.
For many years. Thankfully.
And then you're working one-on-one with Bree.
Yes.
Her handle's at Bree.bfit23 if you want to work one-on-one, or just in general, definitely check out Elevated Nutrition _WG, and also Body by K Scotty. That is the gym that is co-collaborated, I guess is the best way to put it.
You might even see me there behind the desk from time to time.
Yes, yeah, Kellie, she is so inspiring and so involved in our community. She's now going to be working at the Body by K Scotty gym.
Yeah, I'm like, I'll take some hours there.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah.
I mean, where else do you want to be?
Right.
It's where it's at. But, all right, guys, thanks so much for tuning in. Hope this was helpful. Bye.